Hi, I'm Randy Reed, editor of the EdisonReport.
And I'm here with Kevin Poyck, the CEO of Signify Americas. Kevin, welcome.
Thanks, Randy. Great to be here.
We're glad you're here, and our audience and I would like to hear a little bit about UVC. Tell us what the results of this study with Boston University.
Yeah, so UVC technology for us has been around for a long time, 35 years or more, and obviously been used in disinfection for a long time, air, surface, water, really with our OEMs and really specialty applications. But obviously with the advancement of COVID-19, we said, hey, let's make sure our UVC lamps work against the virus that causes COVID-19. So we worked at Boston University, got one of their professors, Andrew Griffiths, to sponsor a test for us. And the results are pretty astounding, Randy, to be honest with you. We've proved that our UVC lamps basically deactivate the virus that causes COVID. In about 6 seconds, you get a 99% deactivation, and by 30 seconds, you get log 6, 99.999% deactivation. So quite effective, I would say.
I think you're very smart to use Boston University as a third-party validator. What type of source did you use? LED?
Yeah, so it's not. It's like I said, old technology, 35 years ago. It's actually low-pressure mercury, and so it's a traditional, conventional type resource, and uses a ballast like you would expect. T8 and T5 lamps are the most popular. We have a few other varieties. There's a twin tube and a couple of others, but if you think about a T8 lamp with a ballast, and it kind of puts out a blue hue, if you will, while it's disinfecting. That's kind of what it looks like.
Where will you build these?
So we will manufacture these at the lamps. Actually, we're increasing our capacity 8 times right now. So it's been a smaller business, but we have operations in China, looking at Poland. So there are actually some capabilities that we had started to reduce that we can actually bring back online.
Sure, that's exciting. Okay, I've seen pictures of these devices, and they mount in the ceiling. Now, so this is the upper air. Is that what it is?
So we actually have 12 new fixtures we're going to be launching. So, seeing those lamps used in the specialty applications, those specialty applications weren't things that we traditionally wanted to get into. Now, when you think about disinfecting for COVID in more traditional spaces, then it makes a lot of sense for us. So these 12 fixture families that we're launching will focus on kind of upper air as well as surface. And even in some cases, we'll have chambers where you can actually pass product through it.
Okay. And then HVAC as well, right?
And HVAC as well, yeah.
HVAC unit. Now, when you say chambers, is that also known as a disinfectant tunnel?
Yeah, that's similar. These chambers you want to think about are a little bit smaller, though. And if you think about a retail application, so while you're in, it really has every application you would want. You walk into the store and you grab your grocery cart. Well, your grocery cart could have already been sitting underneath a surface disinfection unit so that it's completely disinfected from COVID. Right. As you're walking through the store, the fact that you can have upper air disinfection or HVAC disinfection would mean that the air you're breathing in has been disinfected. Now you want to go try on some clothing, and you can actually pass this clothing product through the chamber, and so that coming out the other side, you've got a clean piece of clothing that's COVID-free that you could go try on.
Okay, go back to the grocery cart has a lot of plastic and plastic handle. Do you anticipate any degradation of the plastic?
Yeah, there's some of that to still be reviewed and see what happens over a long time. But an initial impact would say it's really no different than than what the typical UV exposure would be to the sun or other environment.
Okay, you mentioned, of course, the legacy technology, the low pressure mercury. Why not LED?
Yeah, it's a great question. And LED is a technology we're looking at right now. R&D is looking at that. But right now, today, the amount of LEDs and the power of the LED it would take to achieve the same disinfection capability of a UV lamp is really not reasonable. It would be incredibly cost inefficient and really just isn't a logical solution at this point.
I see lighting designers using these 12 products.
Yeah, they're pretty architecturally relevant. The ones that are actually retrofit into the ceiling look nice. They really do look good. I even think that blue hue that you see in those may actually be an accent at some point. So I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far, and that it doesn't look like an ugly industrial fixture. I mean, it could absolutely be in your office space or your retail space and look very, very nice.
Right. We see a lot of products out there that are UVC, and there are dangers with UVC to the skin and the eyes. How do you get around harming people?
Yeah, and so there's a couple of good things about, number one, we own an awful lot of the supply chain of UV lamps, right? So we get to decide where they go, and traditionally we've actually moved those through accredited distribution, where there's somebody in that distributorship that's trained. They know the danger of UV. They know that they've got to use application suited for that, as well as design suited for that. And so we've got a real campaign going on right now about training the entire industry on UVC and why you want to come to Signify, why you want us to validate your design, and even add some services in there for maintenance and insurance.
To my knowledge, the only company I'm aware of that has been tested and more or less certified to kill the SARS virus, which causes COVID. Am I right on that, or are there other companies that also have that?
Yeah, we're the first to make that claim, and as far as I know, the only one at this point.
Okay, well, congratulations. And it's one thing, Kevin, you and I have worked in the industry many years, and you feel good because you're saving people energy. You're doing good by doing that. But man, I mean, you could save lives with this.
Yeah, it's pretty compelling. One of our overarching umbrella strategies has always been sustainability, and I want to add to that this idea of safety and security. Lighting is more than a light, and I like to say we own the space over everybody's head. What do you want to do with it? Well, in this instance, we get a chance, as you say, to make the world a safer place and potentially save people's lives. It's very rewarding.
Do you envision consumer products like these crazy wands or things you're supposed to put your cell phone in?
It is not anything that we are contemplating at this point. We have some research going on around that. I'm not saying we won't ever release a product like that, but it would need to have some pretty strict guidelines relative to safety and some foolproof solution. So we'll see where that goes. I would put anything past our R&D and design group. So you could see that one day. I would be very careful with some of the things that you see today on the market.
Kevin, I want to change subjects, if I may, and ask you a little bit about the Interact Office. I sat in on a webinar either 1 or 2 weeks ago, and the way I understood it with Interact Office, the software can actually tell the administrator how many people are in a room or in an area or in a building, and that can help with the social distancing?
Absolutely. So Interact Office works in a way that we are basically sensing areas of congregation, areas of flow, how far apart you may be standing, certain levels of occupancy. So we can give you warnings that say, wow, this is an area where people congregate and you need to get them to separate. They're not social distancing. You can imagine also using it in places where you're going to disinfect to ensure the level of occupancy isn't what you want, or people aren't where you want them to be, and direct them appropriately. Interact Office, to play with that with this technology is pretty awesome. We think going back to work has a lot of play with the solutions that we provide on Interact Office.
We see the lighting company. We talk to a lot of people, and everybody's struggling. Almost everybody is struggling in lighting right now. Furloughs, layoffs, and as best as we can tell, it's not coming back as fast as people had hoped. But with these two products, it gives you something new in your basket to sell, and I think it's a pretty smart move on your part.
We're going all in on this, Randy. As I said, we've made the investments to increase our capacity 8 times on the lamps, and we believe that these new products we're launching, and we'll continue to launch more. We're going to go all in on it in Q3 and Q4. And even people say, well, what happens when the vaccine comes? Well, this I think has brought people to realize that you have to disinfect your workspace going forward. You have to give people a safe place to work, and this is a way to do it.
Right. We kept up with the office for the last couple of years, and you just have to think about the people that designed that had no idea that one of the benefits would be to help during a pandemic. Right?
Yeah, it's like I said, these applications of these products, when you own the space over everybody's head, there's so many things you can do with it, and we learn new things every single day that we can do with it. And this happens to be an incredible application that fits perfectly with it. So I think there will be things we still haven't thought about, Randy, that we can use that for. But it's that's what this idea of connectivity and tracking and keeping people safe is something that I think will go on for a long, long time with other applications, and now start thinking about outdoor applications for that as well. So really exciting stuff.
I would agree. Okay, well, Kevin, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it so much. Take care.